Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm going to do a review of my beloved KWA Ronin Recon. Okay, so thanks for coming back, and today I've got my KWA Ronin Recon. This is the AEG 3.0 or Recoil AEG version of the Ronin, and it's an absolute monster. I've come to love this thing really quickly. So we'll start at the front. KWA did a series known as Ronin that had interchangeable uppers, which is why I've got my spare upper here, which I'll go through in a minute. They did various different lengths at front, and they did them both in AEG 2.5 and 3.0. The difference being in the 3.0 you get a recoil system which is housed in the stock tube at the back, similar to Tokyo Marui recoil stuff. You also get a working cut-off, so when the mag is empty, provided that you use the KWA magazines, as you can probably see there is a follower there at the top and a little notch that helps to cut off the gearbox. You also get an improved hop-up system as well as part of that, and the magazines, the mid caps, feed every BB in the magazine. The standard KWA magazine that comes with it is selectable between 30 and 120 rounds. They feed absolutely brilliantly. They look lovely in the weapon as well. I've personally preferenced for the P mags, which are 60 rounds. The capacity I would like a little bit more, but I just like the general design of the magazines. They feed nice, and they work with the cut-off as well. So in terms of the weapon itself, it's got a M-lock front end, which includes a couple of rails, which I've attached a couple on this. Well, I've added extra and a vert grip as well for comfort. So on here I've mounted one of my cameras before. I also run a torch as well for if I'm in a site with dark areas, or when I have done the Catrick game earlier on this year. On it includes the front and rear sight, flip up sights, and obviously you get a nice long ridge rail all the way across the top. You get Ronin branding on the side. This mag release is not standard. I've added in an ambidextrous enhanced mag catch. So on this side you've got an extended finger paddle to release the mag, and for those of you who are lefties, you've also got a release on the other side to help you release the magazine from the weapon. Obviously the cut-off does work, so when the magazine is empty it will cut off the gearbox, although I have found that with both mags, the P mag and the KWA, at times that can be a little bit intermittent, particularly if I'm firing at full auto. I have had occasions where it's not cut off for a good few rounds, or it's just not realised at all that the mag's been empty. Not a major showstopper or anything, but just a point to note. Now the only thing I can levy against this as being a negative point has been, when I got this, the hop rubber. Because we're in the UK, this came to me from JTAC Customs. I'll put a link below, and they did the pre-deep downgrade, so it's running at about 340 FPS. Now I'm not sure what FPS the American market will run at, because this is intended for the American market, but with the hop rubber that was in, the performance was just absolutely abysmal. I just couldn't get it to hop enough. So I removed the barrel, which I'll show you in a moment, and I changed the hop rubber out for a general standard Tokyo Marui hop rubber, and I can honestly say that since then I've been so completely happy with it. Accuracy, hop, everything has been absolutely phenomenal, and I've fallen in love with it. Obviously at the back of the weapon you've got their enhanced PTS EPS stock, which is the recoil in the stock tube. It is an adjustable stock and slides in and out, and in the back is where the battery sits. It will accept lipos, both of the crane stock type and the around the size of a mini type NIM battery. I'll show you a battery insertion in a second. The M4 itself is quite weighty. There's quite a nice weight to it. I quite like the heavy weapons. So there's a really nice weight to it, particularly those of you that like to feel like they're carrying something quite weighty as well. When it comes brand new out of the box, that is the stubby suppressor that comes, mock suppressor that comes on the front. So that it sits inside the front here, just like that. Obviously the red end is for the American market and not the British market. Fortunately John JTAC had some spares in, so I was able to get a spare off him, although I've not got one for this upper yet. All in all, this has been an absolute monster so far. I've been really happy with it. The recoil is really nice and crisp. I would actually say, from my personal opinion, having owned a TM recoil before, it's got a much nicer recoil to it, a nicer kick. They are also designed to run at 11.1 volts. I run mine on a 7.4 just because I feel better with that. Nice rate of fire out of that, which I'll show in a second. As part of the Ronin range and across their general M4s with 2.5 and 3.0 gearboxes, they have done interchangeable uppers. So for mine, for the ability to do smaller game CQB, I have bought the KWA PDW Ronin upper. So this is just a little 6-inch upper receiver, and you get the complete upper with the barrel and hop unit as well. Again, with this I had to change the hop rubber out and put a TM one in it, and changing the upper is just like any standard Airsoft M4. So magazine released out, you push the and slide the pin out, so that was just pushed through there and slides the pin out. That is on a retainer pin, so it can't come out. If you lift your dust cover up, release the charging handle, and that upper receiver just slides off. Now don't worry too much about this, nothing's easily going to come off there. And then you just nicely lift up your new receiver and it just slides on. It does catch on the bolt release, so you just flick that out of the way, and then sometimes your dust cover might be flicked down and catch on there, and then it just slides back, clicks into place, and we slide it in. And as quick and easy as that, within a few seconds, I have changed the appearance of my M4, my Ronin, down to a little PDW CQB monster with virtually no change in FPS. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get an entirely black end, so at the minute I've been having to use some black Sharpies to colour mine in to try and keep the look a little bit. This one has got a key mod handguard. I've not been a big fan, and I found that particularly this rail, as due to the recoil and having the camera mounted on it, has actually moved itself out and dropped off a couple of times. So what I have done instead is I found out that you can actually mount M-lock rails on it, which I've mounted M-lock rails on here, and they have been much more solid and not moved at all. Fantastic piece of kit. So battery insertion then, remove the back, it just pinches using these 2 points. I'll lift the wire out of the way, I'll bring in the trusty crane stop LiPo, so I'm just going to slide those down either side of the stock tube. I'm going to plug that in, like that, put everything neatly out of the way and click it in. Now nice and easy, I run 2600 milliamp LiPos, which should go more than easily enough for a full day. Click it to semi, nice clean crisp trigger response, full auto on that battery. You can see it's got a nice kick to it, nice rate of fire, and that's running at 7.4 volts. I have tried it on one occasion on 11.1 and it is pretty frighteningly quick. Now if I can, I think the gearbox is locked up now, so you change your mag. Once it's empty and the gearbox is locked, put the mag in, the fresh mag in, press the forward assist, and the gearbox unlocks again, and off you go, carry on fighting. I can honestly say, like I said earlier, the cut-off has been intermittent at times, but does add to the realism, makes it a great little weapon, and I do like the having to change the mag and press the bolt release. I really can't fault this weapon, it's become my favourite out of my collection. it is well worth the money. The performance has been brilliant. John at JTAC obviously does them pre-downgraded, ready to go for the UK market. The top guy there, which I will put a link below, it's been amazing, and I absolutely love using this thing, and it is my go-to weapon on every game day, as a priority, which you can probably see from my footage videos. I would recommend, if you've got the money to spend on this, then I would definitely invest in something like this. The reliability, the performance, just make it a no-brainer really, in terms of a good choice to use. So after this, I'll show you the usual videos and a little bit of footage of it in action. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.